Are you having a bad day? I'm about to make you feel a lot better. 'Cause this bike put me through a lot in the last week and a half. Alright, it's got two cylinders right here, and the rear cylinder was leaking oil. But that's not what started all this. No, and what ended it, the trifecta, this this thing failed because I just unplugged it. And, well, the bike wouldn't run at all. And, oh man, now it will. Thank God. I'll tell you more about it in a second. Looks like my woes ain't over. She's throwing up a code. It's probably for the exhaust valve though. And the bike is running, so I really don't care. But this all started because I was riding around with jumper cables in my backpack because sometimes the bike just wouldn't start. And I figured, alright, it must be the battery. And it was, but the battery tested good. So, I was running diagnostics. Maybe it's the starter, maybe it's a solenoid, maybe it's a relay. And then I found that the rear cylinder was leaking. Well, to fix that on this bike, you've got to rotate the engine out of the frame, which is a huge pain in the butt. Here you go. Here's the money shot. Alright, that should be enough room for replacing the leaking rocker gasket over here. So I rotate the engine out of the frame, and the motor inside is really nice and clean. That I'm happy about. This bike looks sturdy on the outside, but she's a good runner. So the third thing is I put it all back together after fixing the oil leak, which hopefully this bike doesn't piss oil all over the place when I park it at work. But she won't start. Alright, so I get the whole thing back together. It's past midnight at this point. And this is the f***ing bullshit that I'm dealing with. As soon as I let go of throttle, dies. Luckily, this bike has a computer. Unluckily, it has a computer that sensors can fail on it. So the TPS sensor just up and died because I unplugged it, replaced it, and this year bike has a different sensor than all the others. I had the wrong part at first. But now she's running. Thank God. Whew. I got to do a TPS reset on this bike, which is a big joke. Whenever there's a problem with these bikes, the community tells you to do a TPS reset. That's a cure-all. That fixes everything. And, well, in this case, it actually needed it. But if you're having a crappy day, well, you should be feeling better about it now, because you just heard about all the BS this bike put me through. And man, was it hard that week and a half that I couldn't ride. All my other problems seemed so much bigger. And now that I'm back on the bike, they just seem so much smaller. Alright, stay cool, stay young. Nothing good happens after midnight. So I just sent a message to the guru. If you own a Buell, Jacob Stark is your friend. Anyway, and just went to sleep and figured in the morning I'll hear back. And he said, oh, you should do a TPS reset. Now, if you don't ride a Buell, you don't know what that means. But if you do, that's a fucking joke. But he wasn't joking. So I said, man, all I did was unplug the frickin' sensor. Could the sensor die from that? And he's like, yes. Yes, it can. I've had that happen before. You should buy a new sensor. I was like, it's a special part. Do they even make this thing anymore? So we're going to see if it'll frickin' run after a new sensor and a TPS reset. Ha! If you don't ride a Buell, you don't know how funny that is. But if you ride a Buell, you're frickin' laughing your ass off when I say that.